Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people there? Miss your boy Cam, Topical Juice, and we are back with episode 2 of Love is Blind season 4. So guys, interesting episode. A lot of stuff transpiring that we predicted yesterday, did we not? Let's get straight into this video, man. Let's waste no time. Done the waffling thing. Like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me. Please press that subscribe button. It's road to 50k. Please join your boy TJ for the journey we're about to take over this year. Merchandise in the description below. You can finally get your pillows and all of that. You know the vibes, man. So the episode starts with Tiffany being awoken by the girls, because if you cast your mind back to yesterday's episode, Tiffany done fell asleep, right? And what did I tell you in yesterday's episode, bro? It's because his voice was soothing. You know what I'm saying? It's a compliment when a girl can fall asleep to you. It's not because they're bored of you. But anyway, she woke up and she was feeling really bad about it, right? But then we come back to that. We come back to their situation very shortly. But in the meantime, it's Jacquelina's turn. We get a bit more airtime from Jacquelina, right? And guys, what is it, yeah, with the cast in this show and crying? Every single person shed a tear in this damn episode. Like, bruh, there's being sensitive, like my man Marshall, God. Marshall. If anyone's seen the film Bedazzled, yeah, it came out in 2000. If you know this reference, you're a real king or queen, right? Marshall reminds me of the super sensitive character in Bedazzled. He wants to be more sensitive for the girl he likes, but he's overly sensitive. And like, all he does is look at the sunset and goes, like this Marshall brother, I'm telling you, I predicted at the start of this episode, I was like, yo, this guy thinks he's a poet. He's gonna start writing poems to this girl and all soft and sensitive and emotional type stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with emotional men. Being emotional is good for anyone, especially men who are conditioned not to talk about their emotions and things like that. So I'm not cussing him out for it. He's just a bit too sensitive for me. Again, I'm not the target audience. I'm not the girl. Anyway, I digress. So Jacquelina basically starts talking about how her favorites are Josh and Marshall. And she calls it the accelerator program because everyone in here is falling in love. And I was saying the same thing yesterday. How is everyone falling in love after 6 days? Like, bro, do you know what 6 days is? And this is what I'm saying. I don't think a lot of humans know what love is, man. I'm sorry, I don't think humans do. Now, a wise person once taught me the feeling of butterflies and all that overwhelming sensation isn't what love is. Because that feeling, no matter what, whether you want to agree with me or not, or whether you believe it or not, that feeling goes. That feeling could go in a year. That butterfly feeling could go in 6 years. It goes. Love is basically someone that you can, it's like a duty. Love is choosing to love someone, you know, despite after that feeling goes, it's deeper than that, you know what I'm saying? So for people to fall in love so quickly, it doesn't really make sense. But anyway, I agree with Jacquelina, it does feel like the accelerator program. Now she goes on a date with this guy called Josh. Now Josh is the other kind of black brother. You got Marshall and Josh who are kind of black, but they're not the same skin tone as like Brett and Kwame. Marshall is basically like, he's the softer one who's like so happy he can be sensitive in these pods, and he's like talking to the camera like, oh, my innermost hope coming out of this process is everlasting love. I want that forever love. Yo, he's talking about how he wants a Marshall Jr. And then Jacquelina starts opening up about her parents are quite strict. She doesn't feel like she tells her parents a lot of things, and I completely agree with that. Now, I never used to tell my mum a lot of things growing up. In fact, she knows me, 99% of me, from YouTube, literally from the things I've opened up about on videos and the way I portray myself on YouTube is how my mum knows me the most, probably. But it wasn't because she was too strict, it's just different reasons. But I empathise with that, you know, your parents not fully understanding you or knowing you. And then fam, Marshall starts crying. He's the first crier of the episode. He starts crying because his dad wanted him to be good at maths. And I'm sorry, of all the sob stories, yeah, that we've heard, you know, mothers passing, brothers passing in car crashes, this sob story ain't gonna, you're not gonna pull at my heartstrings with this one. My dad was strict. He said I'm gonna fail at life if I don't do well at maths, and that really impacted him. Now again, I'm sorry that you might be thinking, shit, Cam, you're coming across real insensitive right now, but it is what it is, man. One person's mountain is another person's molehill. I do appreciate that. Everyone has different journeys and things affect people differently. But come on, bro. Was that really traumatic? Like him saying, "Oh, you're not." I got told multiple times, "I wish you were never born, fam." You know what I'm saying? You don't see me crying about it. Shit, I'm laughing about it right now because I know that person loves me fiercely. But come on, man, that's not that deep. Why are you crying right now? But still, it is what it is. He's just a very emotional being. He just starts talking about how he wants to do the good, bad, and the ugly with her. He's just very dramatic and poetic, man. That's actually what I wrote here. A bit too dramatic and poetic. And he even starts talking about poems later in the episode, bro. I'm telling you, man, I know people, bro. So the next scene is Tiffany in her interview, and she's basically saying how she is categorically in love with Brett. Crazy. She basically explains how his voice is soothing. This is why she fell asleep. if Brett held on to that, then I'd be looking at Brett like, bro, you need to relax, man. You know what I'm saying? So they go for their date. It's just proper dramatic, you know. She's saying, I'm so thankful for you to coming in my life at the right time, and I feel like you're the person that inspires me, you're the person that's gonna make me better. And listen, if that's how she feels, that's how she feels. I'm not even gonna be like me, because I've been single for such a long time. I've only had one serious relationship, all these things, like all this lovey-dovey stuff that is like a bit lost on me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm happy for her, man. I'm happy for both of them. They seem like a real good couple. And as I said in yesterday's episode, I feel like they've got the potential to go as far as you can go in this show, innit? Because as I said, I'm still learning about the show. I don't really know what happens. She just apologizes to him for falling asleep, and he starts by saying, you know, this is just going to be a small blip in our, you know, a funny story. This is just going to be like a small blip in our journey, and it's a funny story. And then he basically proposes to her. Yeah, she screams, she got engaged. And I was thinking to myself, these lot are so lucky, because they're both good looking people. So obviously they've fallen in love with each other's personalities, and then they're both attractive people. So like, but I bet when they saw each other, they were buzzing. In that deep down, they were buzzing. Yes, I'm attracted to her as well, you get it? So now Kwame's time. Kwame. What did I say yesterday, man? My doggy Kwame is gonna go outside. And what happened? He went outside. Here he is talking to the camera saying, yeah, Chelsea is a ride or die. She makes you feel wanted. But Micah, I'm ready to propose and take that next step. I want to take that next step, but I just want to know if she's feeling the same. So he's reserved. Again, he's sharp. They both are, in fact. Kwame's unsure whether Micah feels the same about him. And Micah is unsure whether she feels what she feels for Paul. And I'll get to that. But Kwame and Micah then go on their date. And Micah, again, she's such a snake. She was like, throughout this entire journey, we've both clearly been our favourite person this whole time. Kwame's the other side of the wall going, he's so gassed, he's sitting there all smiling like, yes, we are each other's favourite person. I can't wait, this is what I've wanted to hear for the entire 6 days. The whole 6 days we've been getting to know each other, I just wanted to hear this. This is what Kwame's thinking. And Micah then says, but maybe this slow burner is how it's meant to go. Because she was talking yesterday about how her and Paul are slow burners. I'm just trying to work out if that's the way I want to go, or if I want this intensity with you and Kwame, me and you, Kwame. And she says, no, the slow burner is where it has to go. And I was like, wow. And she said, I believe we should explore other connections. Fam, all he wanted was validation, and he was just standing there, dicking his hands like, really? And he does the mature thing, man. He says, thanks for being transparent, and just ushers her out. He says, I wish you the best of luck in your journey. In a bit, peace. Micah though, I don't like Micah, man. And the way Micah came back with this Irina, they're a bunch of like bitches, man. They're a bunch of mean girls, I feel. Like, I think Irina, when it came to giving feedback, like after the whole breakup and that, they come back and Micah's just kind of like, whoops, that's kind of awkward. And like Irina's like, what happened? And then he's just like, I broke up with him and he just kind of booted me out type thing. And she's like, what? He didn't even try to like fight all this stuff. I think it was Irina that said that, like something along the lines of what? He couldn't have liked you that much, or he was prepared to marry you just yesterday. What? Now he don't even want to fight for you or talk to you. I was thinking, fam, you've literally just broken this guy's heart. I mean, 6 days, but broken his heart or whatever. Like, come on. He don't want to talk to you no more. You've made up your choice. You made your decision. Kwame said, get the hell out of him, man. I'm done with you. But then he cries. So he's victim number 2 or 3, I think, by this point, maybe 4. Like, everyone cried in this episode, I swear down. So while this is going on, Micah's like, why isn't Paul ending it with Amber? Why is he still in his pod? You know, I ended it with Kwame in 30 seconds. She starts getting anxious and anxiety start coming through all this, whatever. So while this is going on, Paul is on his date with Amber. And he's obviously been instructed to end it with Amber. And bruh, this game, this social experiment, whatever this is, it is brutal, fam. It is brutal. Like the way Amber's all like, oh my God, I've been looking forward to this conversation all day. Like she like Amber's proper excited to speak to Paul, and he's just sitting there like, You can tell he's stuttering like, hibbity, I don't know what to say. And then he's kind of beating around the bush, and she's like, yeah, like you're everything I want in a partner, like all this stuff, rah. And like all the while this is going on, Mike is like freaking out. And then basically he finally ends it with her. I can't remember exactly how he says it, but he breaks this Amber girl's heart. So unfortunately, she's not gonna get marriage number 3 anytime soon. Like, she's proper crying, it's proper dramatic. Like, it's literally like a cinematic film. And he's like, I'm sorry, baby. But like, it's not really. But she's like, fuck you, Paul. It's proper like, I don't know if it's just American shows or American accent, but the way it is, it's proper like, it always feels so dramatized, isn't it? Proper like, so dramatic, like, oh my God, fuck you, Paul. You broke my heart, Paul. And everyone's there like, but still, it's entertaining stuff. Amber truly felt devastated, you know, she wasn't expecting that at all. Again, it goes to show so much. How you can be comfortable in such a false sense of security through the actions or through the words of someone else, when really the reality is this person that made you feel so secure and so happy is actually feeling like that with someone else. It's a cold world, man. Real world is cold. This game thing is cold. This dating thing is cold, man. They all come back, they're giving feedback, and Micah, when Micah saw her face of Amber upset, you could see the little micro expressions on her face. She was proper happy. And I know she vocalized, she was like, oh, I don't know whether to be happy or sad, because she genuinely seemed sad. But she was happy, man. She was buzzing. She was so happy about Amber, because her and Irina, they come across as real bitchy girls. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't like them at all. I think they're snakes, to be honest. And then Paul just explains how, you know, he feels like the villain in his own story after envisioning a life with someone, e.g. Amber, to then just shut it down, to be the one to shut it down. So he feels a bit like a villain. And it's funny because Kwame, he makes a really good point. I agree, like lacking control in life is what gives me anxiety. Like any decision I've made in life, I always stand on it, good or bad, whether it's bad consequence or not, because I made that choice. When control is taken away from me, I do feel a little bit like I don't really like that. So Kwame made a point about that as well, and how what he's realised about this whole thing is that, you know, you can feel certain things, but the control is not ultimately with you. And it's funny because Kwame actually said, listen, well, intentionally or not, Paul is the villain of my story. And I was thinking, damn, it's tough, man. Now, Tiffany and Brett, they finally meet and they have this proper kind of romantic, again, maybe I'm bad man, but a lot of this show does cringe me out, I'm not gonna lie. But it was cute, it was romantic, and Brett's looking at her eyes, they meet, and he jogs up to her like a real movie scene, Forrest Gump's right up to her, and then says, yeah, you know, you're perfect for me. You're perfect. Yeah, he just opens up and they're just crying in each other's arms, and she's saying how she can be her most authentic self with him, and this is my person, this is my soulmate. Again, this idea of a fairy tale. Now guys, I hate to, like, there's multiple soulmates for everyone. Like, soulmates aren't even just reserved for romantic partners. I've got multiple soulmates in my friendship group. Literally. That's not me just throwing around the word soulmate. I'm talking about real soulmates here. I don't believe in one soulmate per life. Do you know how big life is? Do you know how long life is? Do you know how many people are on this planet? There's actually people that are more suited to her, better suited to her than Brett is. But she's the type of person that believes in one. She quote, my person. I'm yet to find my person. I truly believe there's multiple persons for one person, but it's just who you meet, who you happen to meet along your journey, and who you're prepared to end other people for, and who you're prepared to put your all into, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, she's one of those types where she believes in just the one. I don't believe in that at all. But I'm happy for them, because I believe they're a good match. I believe they've got a lot in common. They're the exact same age, pretty much, give or take a year. They just physically look like an attractive couple. I'm happy for them still. Marshall, soft Marshall, wow, Marshall, I'm gonna come, in fact, you know what, forget, his name ain't Marshall no more. Marshmallow, this guy. We're calling this guy Marshmallow because this guy's soft. So Marshmallow Marsh, yeah, Marshmallow goes on a date with Jackie again. He's like, yeah, I woke up just wanting to explain. Fam, this guy, he said he woke up wanting to explain his nightmares and his dreams to Jackie. He wants to write ballads and poems to Jackie. And I'm like, brother, whew. I mean, he would have done well in my A-level English class. You know, the ones there, like the guy Marshmallow, man, the guy's soft. But he's like, Jackie, I'm falling in love with you, girl. Yo, Americans, man, they kill me. It's so funny because Americans will be laughing at our accent. They'll be like, oh, do you like to drink tea with the Queen and crumpets? Like, no one even talks like that. But I'm the same though. Like, I'll be really, the American accent, like, it kills me, man. It actually throws me off. It actually kills me. He goes, yeah, I'm falling in love with you, girl. Yo, he's funny though, Marshmallow. Jackie, her hard exterior starts to crumble because she actually starts to cry because she feels like she's gonna hurt someone. She doesn't want to hurt either Josh or Marshmallow, but she like feels sick because she knows that one of them is like, they both love her and she's gonna have to hurt one of them. And she opens up about Josh saying to her that, listen, if it's not you, I'll pack my bags and go home right now. And Marshmallow, again, he's very sensitive, he's emotional. He starts getting real angry at that. He starts getting, yo, I've been pouring my heart out to these men, and there's a snake amongst the ranks, there's a Judas in there. Bro, this is the game. Get with the program. Like, I'm only 2 episodes deep in my entire Love is Blind experience. Even I'm understanding the dynamics here. Like, you have to, like, if someone's into you, you're gonna say what you feel, you're gonna lay your cards on the table and hope the other person feels the same. Just because a man said that, you don't own the girl, Jackie. You ain't with Jackie, she ain't chose you yet. So Marshmallow, humble yourself before I start hovering you over some fire and start cooking your ass and eating you. About oh yeah, rah, rah, like, even though I kind of prefer Marshmallow to Josh isn't well within his rights to open up like that. So anyway, she feels guilty, she feels sick, and she's crying, right? So she leaves. While she's being comforted, Jackie this is, because she feels real guilty, Irina and Micah are kind of like looking at each other, smirking and smiling and giggling about some next shit. I don't know, I don't fucks with them, man. I really don't, man. I really don't want Micah to get that happiness. I don't really, and Irina seems to be a bit childish and stuff. I don't really fucks with that one there still. Marshall and Josh basically confront each other because Josh is like, oh, what, are you talking to me? Or he's like, oh, like, you kind of alluding to me type thing. And he's like, oh, it depends. You been on a date with my gal. You been on a date with my babes, Jackie. Rah. Suck your mother. Not joking, he didn't say that. But he was like, he was just like, they just both admit that they've caught feelings for Jackie. Them man are soft, man. Them man are both marshmallow dons. Bliss and Chelsea, they're having like a chat. And they're just talking about freezing their eggs because obviously these girls are well into their 30s, so that, you know, the time limit, the body clock is slowing down, etc, etc. So that's what they're kind of talking about. And obviously Chelsea doesn't want to feel like a side chick. She wants a man to love her for who she is and be the first priority, the first choice. Understandable. So Kwame and Chelsea go on their date, and I believe they'll probably settle with each other. They'll probably go for each other. Having gone through a little rocky beginning with him wanting Micah, I believe he'll probably pursue Chelsea because Chelsea makes him feel the way he wants to be made to feel, I believe. But you know, she was confident in them, but she feels hurt after the kind of Micah situation. Understandably so, man, like, I get that. But yeah, he just starts talking about how I want to hold you and heal, and you can, you know, that'll heal me too. And all these bars, man. These men are real poets, in there with their lyrics, bruv. They get on well when they squash the tension, basically. They squash it. Now, Paul and Micah. Now, this bit here, yeah, this is the bit that convinced me that Micah is uncertain. I really believe that. Paul and Micah, Paul proposes to Micah. They go into their date, they're reflecting on ending with their partners, and you know, they're talking about how they feel like they made the right choice, right? And he's talking about how, you know, when you care about someone or when you're in the presence of someone that you kind of love, it feels like standing in the sun. And you know, that warm feeling, I want that feeling all the time. And again, what did I say? Love, that warm feeling evaporates, bro. What's Game of Thrones say? Winter is coming, fam. That's inevitable. So love isn't always just that feeling of all giddiness and that gut kind of butterfly feelings. That feeling does go. And that's the difference. A lot of people don't realize that's not what love is, in my opinion. Love isn't just that feeling, because that feeling has a time limit on it. Love is deeper than that. Love is more difficult than that. Love is more compromised than that. But anyway, that's me being my philosophical self. He basically proposed to her. He's like, yeah, this is me asking. He goes, this is me asking to keep you close. And you know, all this proper, you know, whatever, cheesy bars. She accepts that. She says, you know, she feels confident. But, did I not write it down? I'm sure I wrote it down, you lot. But basically, she says something like, what does she say? I know I wrote it down. She says something along the lines of, I'm still not sure whether my feelings. What did she say? What did she say? You had to read between the lines. She ultimately said, I'm still not confident in my feelings, but they're real, or something along the lines of that. That's not exact. I'm paraphrasing, but she says she said something that gave away, yeah, the fact that she's not entirely confident in accepting the proposal from Paul. Now, I know she was giddy and I know she was laughing and stuff, but you could tell from her body language and even her actual vocal oratory language, she actually did say something along the lines of, she basically, it's like a Freudian slip. She basically admitted that she doesn't know if her feelings are there for him, but they are. That's basically what she said. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what she said. And I picked up on that straight away. I'm sure I wrote it down. I really thought I wrote it down. But ultimately, she doesn't believe that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't believe it. But either way, you stitched up my dog Kwame, so you can kiss my ass. So yeah, they come back, they celebrate from getting engaged, and Kwame has to cheers this guy. He literally had to go and suck it up, man. Yeah, good for you, Kwame, taking the higher road. But listen, Chelsea's better for you, man. You don't want no Micah. Micah, bye. Biker man. Irina and Zach, they go on their date, but just before that, yeah, it's Zach's birthday. And she actually asks Bliss, who's making Zach a cake, Irina asks Bliss for a candle, because she completely forgot it was his birthday and did nothing for him. So she goes up to her enemy, she goes up to her, you know, her competition, says, can I have a candle? And she says no. Like, I think that's creepy, I think that's icky. What are you doing? Like, why would she do that? What are you doing? All right, I was thinking, right, these girls, or not even just the girls, the boys, these lot are real catty. These lot are really catty individuals. Like, bro, a lot of people in here are very insecure. They got low self-esteem. They get validation from other people. Yeah, so anyway, that was a whole little bit of a bitchy beef there going on there. And in the date with Zach, Irina basically says, listen, I kind of forgot your birthday, blah, blah, blah. But Zach's kind of like, you know, I think you're misunderstood. You know, I think it's sad that those other people can't see you the way I see you. And I'm thinking, bro, all you're seeing is a wall, fam. I don't like them two together, to be honest. I don't really like it. I don't really like Zach with them. But I prefer going for Bliss. Bliss then goes for her date with Zach, and basically Bliss and Irina basically just bitch about each other in their dates. It's not a good look, man. To be constantly so irate from someone else. Like, just forget that other person. Just enjoy your date with that person. If you lose, take the L. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty more fish in the sea. It's not like Love is Blind is the last hope for you to find love. If anything, you'll probably find your better match after Love is Blind, after you've got millions of followers. How about that? But Bliss is basically now judging Zach, because Zach's saying, listen, I've got a good connection with both of you and I could marry either of you. And I know Bliss don't want to hear that because she don't like Irina. So she's now looking at Zach with side eye thinking, do I even trust this guy's judging character? Because you're comparing me to this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is fair enough, but at the end of the day, don't be judging him, because the version of Irina that he's seeing and hearing is different for the one you're getting. So it's obviously going to be a different experience, you clown. But anyway. Oh, that's it. Micah, I did write it down, thank God, alhamdulillah. Micah says, my brain is not computing that how I feel is real, but it is. Bro, that right there is all you need to know. She's basically saying, I still don't know if how I feel is real yet, but it is. No, what you're saying is you just don't know how you feel about Paul yet. Have you made the right decision with Micah, etc, etc. But you know what? You made your bed, so you better laze in it. Like the video for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts, hit the bell to be notified, all of that. What the hell do I know, man? I'm just a man in his 20s. Peace.